In this video, I'll show you how to program your microbits buttons to do something when you hold them down. This is in contrast to the previous video where the buttons reacted when they were quickly pressed and then released. If you need to learn how to set up your microbit for the first time, check out the first video in this tutorial series, linked in the video description. In our last video, we left off with a program something like this, where we had multiple on-button pressed blocks that detect when a button is first pressed, and then we can have a corresponding action block inside, like the show icon block to show a smiley face when we press button A, a frowny face when we press button B, and to clear the screen when we press buttons A and B at the same time. We can run this code in the simulator in the web browser by clicking on the buttons, and we see that once I click the A button once and let go, the smiley face will stay on the screen. If I click the B button once and let go, the frowny face will stay on the screen. And then again, since you can't click in two places at once on your computer, the simulator adds this third virtual button for pressing A and B at the same time. But on your physical microbit, you would use two fingers or your thumbs to press both the physical A and B button. Here, I can click the A and B button once, and it will clear the screen, and the screen will stay cleared until I click the A or B buttons again. Now, we'd like to change this so the faces only display while I hold the button down. So I am going to delete these on-button pressed blocks, but remember that if you are signed in, you can create a new program instead of deleting the blocks in your old one, and then you can save different programs for future use. So we are going to start over with our on, start, and forever blocks and use a new block that is under the logic menu called the if-else block. So drag this out and snap it inside your forever block. This is a block that helps your program make a decision about what to do. And it works kind of the same way you might make a decision in everyday life. For example, you might say, if I am hungry, then I will eat a snack. Or else, that means I'm not hungry, so I won't eat a snack. So the if-else block evaluates something called a condition that can be either true or false. So for example, am I hungry is a question that you can answer with yes or no. You can evaluate if that condition is true or false. And we can put different conditions that we define in our code inside this if-else block and use them for the program to decide what to do. So the condition we would like to evaluate here is button A pressed? Not just, did I press button A once? I want to know, is button A still pressed or still held down right now? And I'm going to use that to decide what to do. And I can do that by going back up here to the input menu. And instead of using the on button A pressed event block, I'm going to go down to the button A is pressed condition and drag this out. And you see it has this long skinny hexagon shape that looks the same shape as the word true here, and when I get it close enough, those red dots and the yellow outline appear, and it will snap inside the condition for my if-else statement. Now, since this code is inside my forever block, which remember from our previous videos is a loop, it will get to the end of this block and then go back to the top and repeat forever. Every time this loop runs, it's going to check, is button A pressed right now? And if it is, then I can fill in code here for whatever I want it to do when button A is pressed. And if it's not, I can fill in code here for whatever I want it to do when button A is not pressed. So, for example, if I want it to show a smiley face when button A is pressed, I can use my show icon block. I'm going to choose the smiley face, but again, you could pick any icon you want here or draw your own with the show LEDs block. And then if button A is not pressed, I want to clear the screen. So we'll see what happens now if I run the simulator like this without anything in that else block. If I hold down button A, it shows the smiley face, but when I release button A, the smiley face does not go away. So that is similar to what we had previously with the on button A pressed block. But I would like to do something else when the button is released. So I'm going to go back up here to my basic menu and drag out a clear screen block and snap that in to the else part of my if-else statement. Now we'll see that when I run the simulator and hold down button A, the smiley face appears, but when I release button A, the smiley face disappears. And again, that's because this code is running in a loop. So the first time it runs, it checks button A is pressed, and it shows the smiley face. As I'm holding the button down, it keeps running, and every time it checks and says the button is still pressed, so it keeps showing the smiley face. But as soon as I release the button, the next time it checks, it sees that button A is not pressed, so it goes down to the else part of the if-else statement, and it clears the screen. Now, what if we would like to do this for button B as well, to do what I showed at the beginning of the video, where holding down button B shows a different icon, like the frowny face. So I could duplicate my entire if-else statement, so I'm going to right-click, select duplicate. That will copy the condition and all of the code inside the if-else statement, and snap that down here below the first one in my forever loop, so I have two back-to-back if-else statements. And I'm going to change the drop-down menu here to button B, and then change the icon to the frowny face. So now it should check if button A is pressed and show the smiley face. If not, clear the screen. Check if button B is pressed, show the frowny face, and if not, clear the screen. And this might look like it will work fine at first, but see if you can notice a problem in the simulator when I hold button A down. If you look closely, you'll see that the smiley face is flickering instead of staying on, and if we look at the code more carefully, we can see why that's happening. If I hold button A down, then the code will detect that button A is pressed and show the smiley face instead of clearing the screen. But then it evaluates the next if-else statement, sees that button B is not pressed, so it will clear the screen. It is overriding the show smiley face icon that I had in my previous if-else statement. The code is running pretty fast, so it then immediately goes back to the top of the loop, detects that button A is pressed, and shows the smiley face icon again, but that results in this flickering where it is briefly turning the screen off or clearing the screen before going back to the top. And if I download this code to the physical microbit, even though that code is running very fast, I still have the same problem where the face flickers on and off, and ideally I would like it to stay on when I hold the button down. We can do that by adding a second condition to our first if-else statement instead of using two different if-else statements. You may have noticed the little plus icon in the bottom left of the if-else statement here. So if I click that, it will add another condition that I can evaluate. So I am going to drag my button B pressed condition up from that second if statement and snap it into the second condition as part of this first block. I can then also move my show frowny face icon block there and delete my second if-else statement. Now I have a single if-else statement with multiple conditions. It's going to evaluate, is button A pressed? And if yes, or if that's true, it will show the smiley face. But if that's not true, it will go on to evaluate the next condition in this else if part of the block. So if button B is pressed, then it will show the frowny face. And finally, else, only if all of the previous conditions are false, then it will clear the screen. So you can see this eliminates the flickering problem, where if I hold button A down, it shows the smiley face. If I hold button B down, it shows the frowny face. And only if neither button is pressed will it clear the screen. Here's that same code running on the physical microbit. Again, we can see that the smiley face stays on screen as long as I hold button A down and disappears when I release button A. Similarly, the frowny face appears when I hold button B down and disappears when I release button B. This is in contrast to the previous video where the faces stayed on screen after the button was pressed and released. So far, we've been focused on the microbit's buttons, and you now know two different ways to control them, using if-else blocks and the on-button pressed event block. However, your microbit has a ton of other built-in sensors, and in future videos, we'll explore how to use them. Check out the links in the video description for the rest of our microbit tutorial series and lots of fun science projects you can do with a microbit. For hundreds of other projects in all areas of science and engineering, check out our YouTube channel and be sure to subscribe so you never miss a new project. Thank you for helping us inspire the next generation of scientists and engineers.